Welcome back into the Film Room. I'm your host, Eric Turner. And in today's Cover 1 Film Room feature, we're going to take a look at Byron Murphy II, defensive tackle from Texas. Murphy was listed at 6'1", 308 pounds at Texas. He played in 39 games, including 16 starts. Last season, he was the Big 12 Defensive Lineman of the Year, and he had a very productive last season at Texas. His third season, he's an underclassman, and one of the few underclassmen that will be attending the Senior Bowl in Mobile next week. In his final season at Texas, he finished with 45 total pressures, including 6 sacks, 3 QB hits, and 36 hurries. According to PFF, he was first in pass rush win percentage at 19.6%. He was also first in defensive interior pass rush productivity at 9.6. So once again, showing off the production that he could bring to an NFL team as a pass rusher. And I really like his film against the run. He's more of a penetrating up the field type defensive lineman against the run, but he pitched in a 9.5 stop percentage against the run and 15 solo tackles against the ground game last year. So without further ado, let's jump into some of the film of Byron Murphy to show his strengths and his weaknesses. All right, let's start off with the run game. Let's start off with his stance. Look at his stance, flat back, wide base. And that's important. When he fires out, you see him low. You see him fire out with his hands out in front, and he's able to play into the guard on this play, and that's one of his strengths. When he's able to play into the guy that he's head up over, these feed blocks, like you see here from this offensive tackle, they're not as effective. You see him play into the guard. This tackle is trying to feed him over to the guard to get better leverage, and he does a good job of anchoring at that point of attack. So his stance does stand out a bunch on film. But he's also athletic, he's disruptive. You'll see that on this play. While he doesn't make the tackle there, you see the defense come in waves because of how quick he is out of his stance. Look at the lateral agility. This is something that a lot of teams are going to use at the next level, especially if you're talking run blitzes, where they spike these defensive linemen here and then bring a linebacker off the other side, kind of those gap exchanges. This lateral agility pops on film. You can see him rip through it. And once again, he doesn't make that tackle in the backfield, but it's a disruptive play and something that the teams at the next level are going to be salivating over. He's just so quick off the snap. Watch him muddy this play up in the backfield. Recognize the blocking concept ahead of him. Recognizes that this guy's trying to block back on him. Here comes a puller. Watch him occupy both of those guys. And that allows the linebacker to execute a run through, and they're right there to blow this play up in the backfield. One of my favorite parts of his game is his ability to recognize and use his technique to anchor versus double teams, feed blocks, and combination blocks like you see here. He drops that near knee. This is textbook. He does it a bunch. And given his size, he has to kind of major in this technique. Head up over that offensive lineman. He plays into him. Here comes the feed block right here. Watch him drop that near knee. You drop that near knee, and then when that guy dissipates to go to the next level, that's when the defensive lineman is taught to kind of pop up. But you can see him anchor right there. That is incredibly technical, and he does it on a routine basis to anchor and hold the line of scrimmage at the point of attack. Watch again. This time playing into the guard. Plays into the guard. Recognizes center's coming to feed him. What's he do? Boom. Drop that near knee. Drop that near knee. Now this time it doesn't hit the turf, but watch what happens. As soon as that guy leaves, now he goes and makes a play on the ball. Another play from the Kansas game. Head up on the center. Boom. Plays into him. Here comes the guard. What's he do? He drops that near knee. Holds the point of attack. Gets thrown to the ground, but he muddies things up with sweat coming across the face of the running back. He muddies things up, and then boom, he's right at the point of attack to make a tackle on the running back. Just great stuff against the run when you're talking recognition and ability to anchor. And he played a lot of zero tech, a lot of nose tackle. For a guy that's listed at 308 pounds, that's a pretty big feat. And technique is incredibly important when you're undersized and you're playing that nose tackle position. Watch this play against Alabama. Center and right guard working a combination block on him. You see him drop that near knee right there. Drops that near knee. Pops back up. Look at the athleticism and boom, explodes on the running back. Textbook technique at anchoring. Using that technique to drop the near knee when that feed block is coming, when this driver is coming. Generally, coaches, offensive line coaches, coach the offensive lineman right here, the center, to get hand leverage. Get hand leverage, and then this is your feed block. He's going to create the displacement. He is the driver, but he is unable to drive. Murphy here. Murphy pops up and makes a tackle on the running back. On this play against Alabama, you're going to see him heads up on the guard. That guard pulls away from him. Look at him recognize the back block coming from the center so quick. He arm overs that guy, but then he tracks the ball. Look at him track the running back here down the line of scrimmage, and then boom, he's right there to make the tackle. Fantastic recognition of the blocking concept. The center coming back and blocking back on him. Guard leaving on the pull. He works over the top, scrapes down the line of scrimmage, replaces his teammate, and makes a tackle on the running back. Now, at times during zone runs, he will get washed down the line of scrimmage a little bit if he doesn't recognize the play concept. You see him pop up here. Pads are a little higher than normal. He's not really recognizing the zone run coming down the line of scrimmage, and he kind of gets washed laterally down the line of scrimmage. And right here, it's like you want him to just disengage. Get out of that fight there. The ball is not down the line of scrimmage. It cut back. Get off of that block. It happens from time to time. It's quite rare, but you'll see it on a few of these clips. I did it from the all-22 angle so you could see how much displacement those two offensive linemen are making at the line of scrimmage. He's kind of getting driven down the line of scrimmage here, and there's some vertical displacement as well, but he's still there to make the tackle on the running back. As one of the offensive linemen does peel off to the next level, he's going to peel off, and that's when you'll see Murphy go ahead and step up and make that tackle. So still good awareness at disengaging after that combination block dissipated. Good awareness to continue to work down the line of scrimmage, find the ball, and then disengage. You see him switch his hands there. So he's getting moved, and then right now he's got him stacked, but then as that guy dissipates, look at that right hand. Goes inside, he gains leverage, and then he disengages there. But as you can see, it's a 4-yard gain on the play. But his quickness off the snap as a pass rusher, especially when he's used head up over the center, especially in those exotic third down type looks, he's going to be super disruptive in these situations. Look how quick he wins into the gap. Into the gap as the center snaps the ball. Gets that rip in there, and he's able to work through those blocks to affect the quarterback. Here it is again, head up on the center against Alabama. Boom. Look at him rip right there. Locks in that leverage right there. It says, this is my gap. He's able to, again, work through that block to get the quarterback off the spot. Here's a little twist between him and Sweat. Once again, just getting the quarterback off the spot from a shade nose tackle position. He comes all the way across the face of the center. Center snapping it and then trying to slide to his left. And he uses that against the center there. Once again, winning that gap and getting the quarterback off the spot thanks to his athleticism and quickness. Another rep from the Iowa game. Watch his arm over. Just winning with power. Winning with quickness off the snap. Get that left hand just boom right there. Violent, active hands. Just a nice pass rush rep by Murphy on that play. Here he is as a 2-eye inside the guard. A little push-pull late in the play. Nice work by the offensive lineman, deterring the pass rush with that left hand. But then you see Murphy get that inside lane, and then watch him right here. Push, pull to disengage. And he's right there in the face of the quarterback. Quickness, violent hands, active player. And he's just disruptive. And he just routinely affects the quarterback in his pass rushes. Here's another push-pull from the Iowa State game. He's right here over the guard. Push, pull. Just pulling that guy off balance, throwing him by, working through the running back, affecting the quarterback, forcing him to throw it away. Nice work on that rush. push-pull. He's got power. He's got speed. A push-pull move in his arsenal is very good to have because it uses both of those traits in tandem to put pressure on quarterbacks when they're trying to set up in the pocket. Here's a power move versus the center of Alabama. Just violent hands. You see the center snap, try to punch out with his left hand, and Murphy just swats that away and says, you know what? It's time to go for a ride. Just collapsing the interior depth of that pocket, forcing that quarterback to get outside of the pocket. Just active, violent hands by Murphy on that play against the center from Alabama. Here's another rep from that game. Same thing. Power. This time, violent club. Dropping that dude to the ground. Recognizes that guy's pads are elevated. His hips are elevated. He starts lunging right here to anchor versus power. That's why you get the club and pressure. Now, he does end up on the turf, but these are the type of moves and pass rush plans that coaches at the next level are going to be salivating over. He has several moves already and several plans and counters at such a young age that once he starts to peak, he's going to be a very dangerous defender, especially as a pass rusher at the next level. You can't leave him one-on-one with centers. Just look at how he takes advantage of this guy. Again, just driving that center back. Usually centers are the lighter offensive linemen. And he just drives them back routinely on film. He's very good on third downs. This is a third down play from the Iowa State game. Once again, they left him one-on-one with no help for the center. This guard's not helping his teammate. And what happens? He takes advantage of that center, just drives him back. That guy cannot anchor versus the power of Murphy on this play. And he's able to bring down the quarterback for the sack. 4 out of 5 of his sacks were on third down. His pass rush pressure percentage on third down was over 21%. He's going to wreak havoc on these third downs, especially if he gets matched up versus centers. Again, whether it's head up over the center or in these alignments where the center is isolated on these slides, these half slides right here. 3 are going that way. Usually this is the man side. Running back is keying the linebacker. If you get him matched up with these centers, he's going to win a ton of reps, just like you see here. I thoroughly enjoyed Murphy's film from last year. I think he can win in a multitude of ways against the run and as a pass rusher. I think his speed, his quickness all pop on film, especially if you talk about him playing more of a 3 technique or 4-eye at the next level, as opposed to a lot of the 0 and shade nose tackle spots that he played at Texas last year. I think his quickness, his speed are all positives. I think he can win with power as well, especially if we're talking about pass rushing from speed to power moves where you transition from speed to power. I think he can take advantage a lot of the interior offensive lineman at the next level. I think he's already got a pretty good base or foundation of pass rush moves and plans at such a young age. He plays with active, violent hands, which really help him when he tries executing those pass rush moves, such as his rip, his double-handed swipe. He's got a club move, as you saw against Alabama. He's got a push-pull. So various types of rushes, sometimes speed, sometimes power, sometimes speed to power, or vice versa. Either way, he's got a good base to work with to be effective in his first year as a pass rusher. As a defensive lineman, I do think he ended up on the turf a little too often for me, and usually that means there are some balance issues. You saw a few of those reps where he kind of popped up out of his stance. He was a little high, and he got railroaded from an adjacent offensive lineman. He ended up on the turf a bunch, sometimes even getting through the line of scrimmage, and then he was getting tripped up. So there does seem to be some type of balance issues at times, or where his pads get a little too high. It's just something to keep an eye on at the next level. And then there are times where he's just late to recognize those feed blocks, and he'll get washed down the line of scrimmage just a little bit. But as you saw, he can recover, he can bounce back, and still make a play on the ball. But overall, I do think that Murphy is going to be an early pick, a late first round pick, maybe early second round. He is not going to be waiting for his name to be called. He'll go quite early in this draft. If you like that breakdown, please smash that like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what prospects you want me breaking down this offseason. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Cover One College Football channel. All of our draft content will be found on this network, on this channel going forward. I'm Eric Turner, host of the Film Room every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Also the owner of Cover One. We'll see you back in the film room soon.